Hello, everyone. This is Adrian here. This is going to be another one of those mental health videos that I haven't made in quite some time. Thank you, school. Anyway, I think in this video I want to tell how I went about getting help. And if you see me looking up there, it's because the Cubs game is on, so I'm kind of watching and doing it at the same time. But anyway, um, pretty much the way I went about getting help was the fact that pretty much in 2014, I was not doing very well. And it was like around Christmas time, and I just wasn't doing really well at all. At all. End of the year and around Christmas, I was pretty much in really, really rough shape. Just really bad. I was all over the place. I was really in a really dark, horrible place. I was really unstable because I was just and it got really bad. And pretty much what happened was I ended up getting to a point where it was just like something needed to change. Something needed to change. Something had to change. Because it was kind of like if I if something didn't change, then something bad was gonna happen. I was gonna probably end up getting committed to a mental health facility, or I was maybe gonna try suicide. I mean, because I just knew that I can't keep going the way I'm going. That this is I'm not living. I'm surviving. And when I say I was surviving, I was just barely surviving. So it's like you gotta know the difference between surviving and living, and I wasn't living for damn sure. That's a fact. It was just really bad, and then I just and at the time I wasn't in school either. Like in school, if you're in a university, you typically get free counseling, or for at least a little bit until they hook you up with someone more knowledgeable, or like someone more long term. There we go. And I wasn't in a university, so it was like, okay, I don't get that service. I don't have access to that. But thankfully, I was wealthily employed, I guess. I was employed at a hospital, and I was just looking things up on the hospital, and they had like something called the EAP. It's called the Employee Assistance Program. And I was just looking that up, because I was like, okay, I need to start doing something. And I remember glancing upon that like a while ago, and I did some research on that. And they pretty much offered like couples counseling, like loan counseling, like stuff like that. And they offered like just general counseling for like depression, grief, and all this other stuff. And I was just looking into it, and then I found a number, and I was like, and I wrote it down. But I wrote it down, and I didn't call them for a few days because I was like, oh god, what am I doing? I was really nervous. And then I just finally okay, like I said, I was just finally okay, I need to make the call, otherwise I can't continue the way I'm going. So I made that phone call, and that's how it started. So for me, I went through my employer. I went through the employee assistance program, and it's confidential. No one knows. Not my bosses don't know any of that. It's confidential, and it was free of service for employees. And so that's how I went through it. And pretty much when I called, and it was pretty much just like I was just saying, yeah, just saying how the I was depressed, all this stuff, and they pretty much made an appointment for me for a licensed counselor. And then before the year off, she's like, it's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. I just want you to know that, and you to have your appointment, and that's how it started. And there you go. That's how I got help. And pretty much from there, I saw the licensed counselor about 2 times. I saw the licensed counselor once, and then I saw her again the next week, and then I had like a complete month where I didn't see her because I had like the pharmacy school interviews, which was, trust me, quite the adventure when you're not doing the greatest and you're seesawing back and forth. So, and then again, and then I saw her again, and then I saw her, and then when I came back, I was like bouncing off the walls. And that's when she was just kind of like, I think you have bipolar, and she arranged for me to see a psychiatrist, and that's when I was officially diagnosed. And then now we're here, now we're to here now where things are good. Well, things are good, Don't get me wrong. I still have some days and like some issues sometimes. Like this past semester, I had like a nasty relapse with depression, just ugh. But compared to where I was in 2014, like in around Christmas time and pretty much most of the year, fan freaking tastic. Like way, way 100% better. I'm like more equipped to do things. And that's how I got help. Like I literally went through my employer. I went through my employer. They had the employee assistance program. I did research on it. Okay, what is it? What is it this exactly? And I wrote the number down and I hesitated for a few days, but then I was just like, I can't keep doing this. Something needs to change. And I decided to make that phone call. And one of the best decisions I made in 2015. Because I don't know if I would be talking about this with everyone here. So that's how I got help. And there are various ways that one can go to get help. There are various ways. I mean, if you're in college or in a university, or you pretty much can go to and get free counseling there, because pretty much I'm not gonna say all of them, but pretty much most universities and colleges offer free counseling that you can come in, make an appointment, and get screened and like all that stuff. And if so that's one way. Another way is you can always like go through your insurance and see, okay, see who's around and make that phone call and just do research on your own. Another way is like if you can't afford it, there are definitely places like in cities, like I know there's places in my city that you can go and get free counseling services, and then they can maybe hook you up and try to help you out. So there are definitely places around, like where I live, that may offer that services. And then there's the suicide hotline if you really are in dire straits. And the other option is if you're like really, really like feel like you have nowhere to turn, then there's the emergency room in a hospital. And because trust me, people do come in there for suicidal when they're suicidal, and sometimes their friends or employers bring them in. Like bosses or friends come and walk them there, and they get admitted to a mental health facility. Well, actually, the mental health on my floor at least. Well, not on my floor, I don't work there, but that's typically where they get admitted to the mental health floor, and then from then on, like they get some services and counseling, and they get hooked up typically with a long-term provider. So there are various ways. I mean, I went through, and then like my way, I went through the employee assistant program. Through my work, they just offered it for free, and I like I need to take advantage. I need to do this, and it worked out for the better. And so that's how I got help. I was in such dire straits, and then the employee assistant program really saved my life from my employer. That's why I'm like really gracious to have the employer that I work with. I don't like getting up early as hell to work every weekend, but I'm really grateful. So, like I said, there are different ways. I mean, you can suicide hotline if you're in dire straits. You can go to the emergency room if you really, really are in crisis. There's a employee assistance program if your employer offers it. There's free counseling services in cities. I mean, there's various different places, and so just all you really had to do is take that one step. Because trust me, you're not gonna feel as bad as you're feeling right now. Believe me, it's worth. It's definitely worth a shot. So go and reach out for help. And if you're feeling like you can't do it alone, maybe you can have a family or a close friend and help you with the process. But that's my story, how I got help. And if anyone gets anything out of this, I hope you do. And bye.